Do you remember Z moves? Neither do I. It seems like they kinda just came and went, but with the release of Pokemon Champions and that new bangle that has all the gimmicks on it, I'm hopeful they'll make a swift return. Each type has a Z move that any Pokemon with the same type move can use, but some Pokemon have specific moves that are tied to a special Z move. This was a fun way to still give the spotlight to various Pokemon through the gimmick, but what if we took it even further than that? What if some Pokemon Z moves change their forms altogether? Well, that's why I'm here. So sit back, relax, and let's Z move on to some drawings. Who's that Pokemon? It's Pikachu! Except yeah, it is. Anyways, I have come to learn that I have never drawn Pikachu on this channel. It is the Pokemon, and yet it has never had a place here. The closest I've come is probably when I made a Pika clone twice. I thought it was going to be a difficult Pokemon to get right because it's just so iconic that any slight flaw could very well throw the entire design off, but I was wrong. It's actually not super difficult at all. You just gotta make sure you get the ears right. I think that's the trick. That's like the hardest part to get right. My Pikachu Z form, which is what I'm calling these, is going to be based on the move Catastro Pika. I know Pikachu has another Z move, but I might save that for another day. If you like this video, we could do a part 2. I drew the whole body out normally as a base, but then once I was finished with that, I took out some lines and then drew this like explosion sort of fur around it. It's kind of giving cosplay Pikachu. Maybe this is the form that the costume was based on. See, I'm always thinking about the lore. I drew in the fur on a different layer so that I could position it exactly how I wanted, and then I knocked out the parts that unbalanced the design. Its silhouette is going to be funky, like I don't know if it's going to be obvious that this is Pikachu, although the ears and forehead are visible and the tail will be too, so maybe it's gonna work out just fine. As for the tail, I originally placed it on the side, but it kind of looked like shit, so I'm backtracking on that and placing it near the center instead. I thought it would be really fun and whimsical to add in the Z shape somewhere. I would also like to somehow add the circumflex too, which is the little triangle shape above the Z and the logo, but I settled for more of a minor reference by using the shape of the tail and fuzzy fur. Time for the colors, all very typical Pikachu colors that I picked from its official artwork. By the way, using an eyedropper tool is a very valid way to choose colors for your fakemon forms, especially if you're like me and you can't see colors properly. I exchanged the black ear tips for the same red as the cheeks, and it also now has cute little eyebrows that also share the same red. The idea behind this is that Catastro Pika has fully charged up Pikachu's static power, and the electricity it holds with its cheeks is now surging through other parts of its body. Moving on to the next Pokemon, we have the co-mascot, Eevee. Wait, is Eevee still considered a franchise mascot? I know they were really pushing for it back in the late 10s and early 20s, but it really seems like they let that just live and die alongside the hopes we'll ever get a flying type evolution. Thanks a lot, Fakemon artists. It's because of people like us that we'll never ever get to see such brilliant Pokemon as Taililo. God save us all. I did a very basic ballpoint pen sketch of this design when I was conceptualizing the video, and it honestly didn't give me a whole lot to go off. But I am an ideas man, so I was able to use this little doodle as a solid base for what is essentially just a fluffier Eevee. The main thing I aim to capture with this design is Eevee's whole gimmick being the evolution Pokemon. It has the most branching evolutions of any Pokemon, but don't worry, I'll see to it that Wurmple takes its crown. Its unique Z move is called Extreme Evo Boost, which sees Eevee calling out to its taxidermied family for a sharp boost in all of its stats. God, I love Sun and Moon. Alas, we are once again drawing quadrupeds, which I prefer to avoid because I'm actually not a very good artist. Secrets out, I'm sorry. Okay, I give myself a really hard time about drawing quads, but then I'm able to pull something like this off and it really doesn't look half bad. It actually looks kind of like a stuffed toy. Oops, maybe? I redid the puffy fur and I think it looks a lot better this time. I'm keeping in mind its silhouette, so I'm trying my best to not cover up the body shape. Now, if you would be so kind to just ignore the facial expression it has at the moment. I was going for like an angry eye or squinting thing, like how it looks in the Z move animation, but it kind of just looks like really bad, so I'm very sorry. I do fix it, don't worry. The ears are very much the same, but I did exaggerate the middle pieces and also gave it more exaggerated tufts around the head. The tail also now has 8 segments. segments. Each segment will be a different color correlating to the various evolutions. Again, just cementing its fate for no future evolved forms. I also put little tips on each tail shaped like a Z. TBH, I wish I had the foresight to give it a 9th tail in its base Eevee color, because then the design would draw a parallel to the Kitsune. I guess we already have 9 tails, but now that we're living in the world of Rowlet Gate, I think I could have gotten away with it. I don't know if Rowlet Gate's real, I don't have Twitter, but I imagine that's something they would make up. Time to fix up its face. Crazy statement, but true. I tried a couple different expressions, but none of them looked like Eevee, so I referenced a screenshot from the anime, and voila, a masterpiece face. And now we can Z-move on. Alas, we have arrived to Mew. That's the one from the thumbnail. This is the Pokemon that made you click on the video and subscribe to my channel. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, and click the bell icon. Just do it all. TBH, I'm a Mew head. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm sure a lot of other people are too. I wonder how many Mew fans from back in the day became mechanics after discovering their love for looking underneath trucks, because that's kind of what happened to me. They call me Fix-It Kypha. Fakemon. This artwork should be menacing. I want the form to be sort of like the midpoint between Mew and Mewtwo. I think this really gives the opportunity to have Mew undergo a similar development, but instead of it being in a lab, it's in the wild, in the Alola region. Watch out, Chargebug, you might die. This form of Mew will happen from it using its special Z move called Genesis Supernova. Mew is the supposed ancestor of all Pokemon, depending on who you ask. It at least harbors the DNA of every Pokemon in existence, which is kind of wild when you think about the logistics of that. I made its legs sort of flare out in this shape reminiscent of a double helix. That's right, I'm using scientific terms. You can just call me Kypha Science from now on, guys. I don't mind. Honestly, I'm proud of this artwork so far. The form change itself is pretty minimal, but the attitude of Mew has changed dramatically. Gone girl are the days of this meek little cat. Now we're dealing with a creature who knows its power. It's standing up for itself, and I, for one, am proud of it. The tail is its main feature. It's a bit longer than the regular Mew's tail, and it ends in a Z shape because it is a Z form. The arms are also much longer and developed. They are now more reminiscent of Mewtwo's arms and hands. Once I finish up the design, I colored it as usual, and to give it a little more difference from the base form, I gave it some accent colors and also made its eyes glow. She's not messing around. I suggest you watch out. Alrighty, it is time to take a look at these Z forms and see just how they switch things up on the battlefield. First Z, it is Z Pikachu, the mouse Pokemon, and an electric flying type. Yep, we got type changes now, but their abilities are still the same. This form happens when it uses the move Catastro Pika. After using its Z move for the rest of the battle, all of Pikachu's electric type moves will be doubled in power. A super powerful form of Pikachu, its extreme charge is expressed through magnetism, which allows it to levitate. This Pikachu has undergone an extreme transformation after releasing an enormous amount of electric power. Next, we have Z Eevee, the evolution Pokemon, and a Stellar type. I know Stellar is the terrestrial typing and mainly a gimmick, but it also really works as a truly neutral type. No immunities and no stab, which is perfect because after using Extreme Evo Boost, every move Eevee uses will be super effective. After receiving the power of its evolved forms, this Eevee can now deal large amounts of power to its targets. Its innate power has been exaggerated. It can't sustain this power forever, and it will eventually revert to its base form. And finally, it is the one and only Z Mew, the new species Pokemon, and a psychic type. After using Genesis Supernova, Mew will transform all opposing Pokemon into another Pokemon from their party, or in the case of a wild Pokemon, it will transform them into another Pokemon from the same route or area. It is unclear if this Mew is intentionally using its powers or not. Mew remains a mystery at large. Researchers debate the strength of Z Mew's will. So, that is my take on some Z-move forms. Are they totally unnecessary? Yes. Do I care? No. If you vibe with these, then leave a like on this video and let me know what you think of them in the comments below. And be sure to subscribe to my channel. I upload new videos every single Fakemon Friday or Saturday if you live in Mirage Island, just like this guy. A Z-powered thank you to all of our wonderful channel members. Thank you all so much for your support. You are the extreme Kypha boost that powers up my day. Honestly, it's a shame my Pikachu died. He would have loved to see his potential. R.I. Pikachu.